Hi everyone, welcome to the video. Tonight I'll be doing my tips for round 19 of the 2021 NRL Telstra Premiership. Last week I got 6 out of 8 right. Let me know in the comment section below how many you got. But there's a few games to get through, so let's start off with the first match, which is kicking off on Thursday night. It's between Parramatta, who were in 4th place, up against Canberra in 9th place. And this one is being played at Seabourn Super Stadium on the Gold Coast. So for Parramatta, they've won their last 3 encounters against Canberra, and Canberra have only beaten Parramatta twice since 2010 outside of Canberra. We all know that Parramatta have an awful record down there, but when Canberra play Parramatta outside, they're not so good themselves. Even though Canberra's been playing shite pretty much the entire year, they still find themselves in 9th place, and a win over Parramatta will put them in the top 8 if other results go their way. I thought Parramatta played very well last week. I think the inclusion of Reid Marnie back into the team made a big difference along with some of the other players. And that's why I'm going to go for Parramatta on Thursday night. I'll go for them to win by 10 points. It's not going to be an easy game, but I'm confident that they can get the win over Canberra. The first match on the Friday, see Sydney Roosters up against Newcastle. So Sydney Roosters, Eastern Suburbs are in 5th place at the moment. Newcastle are in 10th place. East love to play against Newcastle. They've won 4 of their last 5 meetings against Newcastle. I've been seeing it all year. I sound like a broken record, but this East side, they just keep turning up every week. They might not win every week, but they've got half their team out, and it's a major achievement for them to be where they are, still in the top 8, still competing. I thought that they played well last week. So I'll go for Sydney Roosters East to win 1-12 over Newcastle. I think Newcastle would have been psychologically damaged after what happened to them last week, and I'm going to go for East to win. The second game on the Friday is North Queensland up against Melbourne, or the Scum, as I like to call them. So for North Queensland, this is not very good reading at all. Like the last time that they beat Melbourne was in 2015, and I think it was the preliminary final. North Queensland lost their last 5 games. I think Melbourne's won 5 in a row. This is going to get really ugly, I think. I think it's going to be one of those games where I'll be checking the scores and it'll be 30-0 at half time or 40-0 at half time, like it's been every week with all the Melbourne games. So I'm going to go for Melbourne to win by at least 30 points over North Queensland on the Friday night. I don't think that there's really anything positive I can see about this game in North Queensland's favour. The first match on the Super Saturday is South Sydney up against New Zealand. So South are in 3rd at the moment, New Zealand are in 14th. This one's being played at the Sunshine Coast Stadium. The South have won 4 of the last 5 games against New Zealand. They've won their last 6 on the trot. And New Zealand has lost their last 6 games in a row. I think one thing that if you're a New Zealand fan that you could possibly maybe take in with a bit of confidence for this game is that even though South Sydney have been winning a lot of games, they've been conceding a lot of points. So in 6 games this year, they've conceded over 20 points. And it's been a case of South Sydney have managed to just outscore teams. And especially on that left edge, they're very hard to contain. But Alex Johnson's going to be out for about a month. But I still will go for South Sydney to win. I think South will probably win 1-12 over New Zealand. I think it'll be a high-scoring game. I think New Zealand will score a few points, even though they've got a couple of players out. I think it'll be a high-scoring match. I wouldn't be surprised if it's something like 34 points to 20 or something like that. Or maybe 34-24. The next game on the Super Saturday is MANLY-WARRINGAH up against West Tigers. So this one's being played at Suncorp Stadium. Manly sitting 6th at the moment, West Tigers in 12th. The history between the two sides with the head-to-head, it's kind of even. I mean, I've been looking over it, and both sides have picked up wins against each other. So it's not a fixture where one side dominates. I think even if Manly do manage to win this game, they can't overtake Eastern Suburbs in 5th place. For West Tigers, they would have been pleased with the win last week. It moved them further away from that wooden spoon zone. But I will go for Manly to win on the Saturday night. I think that they're going to be too strong for West Tigers. I'll go for Manly to win 13+ over West Tigers. And the final game to close out the Super Saturday is Penrith up against Brisbane. This one's also at Suncorp, so it's a double header. Penrith and Brisbane, like Manly and West Tigers, I mean, they're head-to-head together. Brisbane's got a couple of wins over Penrith in the last couple of years, and so have Penrith. The last time that these two teams played against each other, it went down to the wire. Brisbane looked like they were going to end Penrith's win streak there. Penrith won the last 3 games in a row. I think that they've been playing well, considering that they're missing Jerome Luai and Nathan Cleary's not there. I will go for Penrith to win this game. I'll go for them to win 1-12. I don't think it's going to be a blowout. Even though Penrith's the designated home side, it is going to be a home match for Brisbane. They're going to have all their fans there. So I think it's going to be a good game, but I will go for Penrith to win 1-12. The first game on the Sunday sees St George up against the Gold Coast. This one's at Seabus Super. St George sitting 7th at the moment. Gold Coast in 11th. St George have won the last 4 out of the 5 encounters between the two sides. Even though St George have had the whole thing with the Paul Vaughan barbecue and the players being suspended and all that keeper, I thought that they did try last week against Manly, and they did put in a good effort, and they never really went away. And as for the Gold Coast, it's been a case of the whole year their defence has just been shocking and it hasn't been up to standard. And I think this will be possibly another high-scoring match. I'll go for St George to win 1-12. I think this could be a game where it might be like 30 points or 20 or something like that, because defensively both sides are not great, but attack, I think that both sides are not too bad. So I think it'll be a high-scoring match, but I will go for St George to win 1-12. And if they can win this game, it'll be great for them, because it'll consolidate their place in the top 8. And the final game to close out the round sees Cronulla-Sutherland up against Canterbury-Bankstown. This one's also at Seabus Super Stadium. So for Cronulla, they sit in 8th place at the moment. Canterbury, rock bottom of the table. Cronulla's won 7 of the last 10 meetings against Canterbury. So they certainly love to play against Canterbury, but Canterbury's won the last 2 meetings. And one of their only wins this year come against Cronulla. With Canterbury, I mean, pretty much last week, some moments of that game against South Sydney showed why they're probably going to get the wooden spoon and why they're down the bottom. And they're up at half-time against South, and then Lachlan Lewis, the fucking gobshite. What's he thinking? I know what he's fucking thinking there. Just flings Cody Walker to the ground. The referee says, right, come here, you, sin bin, and then it changed the match in that second half. And it's just moments like that just tell you why Canterbury are last at the moment. I will go for Cronulla to win this game. I'll go for them to win 1-12. I think Canterbury can maybe sense that there's a bit of an upset on the cards. This is probably going to be one of the last chances to get a win and try to claw back their way to Brisbane. But I'm confident in Cronulla, and I think that they can get the win over Canterbury. Anyway, that's my tips for round 19 of the 2021 NRL Telstra Premiership. Hope you enjoyed that video. If you did, let me know in the comment section below, and let me know your tips for round 19. Anyways, this is Rugby League History signing off, and I'll catch us all later in the next video. Alright, tatty bye now.